My name is Haley Wilson. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Patsy Cline.
My name is Mike Detroit. I am he, him, his, and I'm the executive producer at Playhouse on the Square, and I am the director for Closer Walk with Patsy Cline.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Schmeling, she, her. I am the costume designer for A Closer Walk with Patsy Cline.
My name is Christian Nieves. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my role in this production is one of the Jordanaires as well as Jolton Jim McCoy.
My name is John Hemphill, and I'm he, him, and I'll be playing the little big man in A Closer Walk with Patsy Cline.
I think the show does really well with our audiences for a number of reasons. Number one, Patsy sang songs that had some attention to her life, some attachment to her life, even though she didn't write her songs. When she sang, She's Got You, she was talking about Charlie Dick, her husband. She did a version of Walking After Midnight. In fact, the version that most folks are aware of, that's, they still play on the radio, Walking After Midnight. It was the second take of that particular production. She was really mad at Owen Bradley at the time. And you can tell, if you listen to it, knowing that now, where she's got just that little bit of an edge to her in that particular song. Personally, for me, because I love Patsy Cline, I have an affinity for Patsy Cline. I like her, I like the music, I like what it means, what it meant to her. She certainly had a tragic ending to her life, but there was a lot of fulfillment to her life.
So Patsy Cline is my grandparents' favorite female country music artist. And so I grew up with them singing it around the house. My grandma's a yodeler. If you asked her, she would say she isn't, but she is. And we used to have like speaker boxes in our room, and how she would wake us up in the morning was she would yodel Lovesick Blues into my room at least. My first real adult perception of her was that she was a powerhouse alto singer, and that's what I grew up singing, was alto songs. And so definitely someone that I looked up to as a singer, for sure.
So the Jordanaires started out as a gospel group, and they were Patsy's backup singers for all of her Decca records, and they went on to be a backup singer for Elvis, and you can see them in some of Elvis's movies singing backup for him. So they were kind of a little boy band group, and they had their little matching outfits. And for us, they serve as almost kind of a Greek chorus, where they are also her backup singers, but they step out and play different people that Patsy interacts with in her life. So they have those really cute matching moments with their matching Western shirts and fringe, but they also have more personal styles to represent other people within the community, her managers, their radio personalities, things like that.
Haley's such a fantastic Patsy. Honestly, like, if you put her next to the recording, it's pretty similar. It's honestly, it's a little bit scary. But at the beginning of the show, we find I believe, 14-year-old Patsy that she really does pour this like childish-like energy into, which is very fun, and then matures very fast as her career grows. I think this translates into her performance, because you can see where later in the show, she takes her own liberties and starts like backphrasing more on songs and like really taking ownership of them, as opposed to the beginning where she's sort of like right on the notes and right on the pitches and right on the rhythms.
My character tends to be the comic relief, but as Little Big Man, he adores Patsy Cline. In our show, he's met her when he's a kid, and she's informed the rest of his life. He got into radio because of her, so he's her number one fan. So in that way, he speaks for the audience in how they look at Patsy, and he gets broken up, he gets emotional about the different things that happen in her life, like her car accident and her death. So I think he's sort of the eyes and ears of the audience.
So Patsy Cline, she had a tragically short career, but she was very in charge of what she looked like and how people perceived her on stage. She and her mother, Hilda Hensley, designed and built all of those iconic dresses that you kind of picture her in, that red and white Western wear with fringe and the wagon wheel border. Her mother built that for her, and she wore it to Grand Ole Opry performances and on tours. And her mother would come out and switch out the wagon wheels to bucking broncos or to music notes. There's a really beautiful, one of my favorite looks that her mother built her, it was a pink outfit with black records that had her hits embroidered on them. So she was very in charge of what she looked like, and it was this really beautiful, fun, Western, rhinestone cowboy feel.
I also think that the relationship that the cast have is really going to excite them. You know, sometimes when you watch a show, you can tell that the people on stage don't have very good chemistry, but in the rehearsal room, we're always laughing and joking around, and obviously in a professional sort of way, but that really does translate into our performance on stage and in showing how close-knit of a group this was and how much they supported each other, especially the Jordanaires to Patsy.